Go ahead, Patty.
Thank you all again for being here. We're going to go ahead and get started because, as before, we're not going to waste your time. We have a good program for you tonight. We have a couple of special guest speakers, and then we have some content toward the end. So the reason that we decided to do this is you all know that most of us, all of us on this team, do some type of mentoring. So what we're hearing out in the field is all of these challenges that small business and all businesses are having. We thought we were getting back to normal, and now things are looking a little dicey for us. But coming out of COVID and still being in COVID, we have businesses are having issues with supplies, staffing, shipping, trying to estimate the proper lead times. There is the vaccinated or the unvaccinated. And when I look at this, I think of the grief and loss. That is the foundation for all of this. Everybody's dealing with it in some way. Was it a family member? Did you lose your job? There are a lot of relationships that broke up during COVID. There's just so much surrounding that. People are having to package goods differently because of COVID. And then there's money. Do you have less money, more money? How do you spend it? What is your competition doing? Was your business ready to go virtual, when the time came? Do you need particular things, particular types of technology in order to move forward when you pivoted your business? So that's why we did this, because so many of these things in some way impact small business, and many are having challenges overcoming that. Our intent is to target these items as we talk about the business plan, because your business plan is more important now than ever. And you're going to have to go in there and change it and make sure you allow for those things that affect your business the most. This year, we have a bonus in our program. The last time that we did this, we did have at the end, we allowed people to present their business plan. But this time, we're going to do the same thing, and we're doing this program in 6 weeks, you all. Remember, we did it in 13 before. So we're going to pretty much use all of our time to get through the information. At the end, we will have a competition, and it will be which business plan is the most comprehensive. Did you present that plan so that the judges, will have 3 judges, so that they know that you know exactly what your business is going to do, how you're going to do it, where your money is coming from. And in order to save time, we hope we'll have quite a few participants that will present. We'd like for you to have 12 to 15 slides to summarize your business. We'll give you 10 minutes. That includes a couple of minutes of Q&A. And if you're going to present, we want you to sign up tonight or next week, because we will provide you with a score mentor that will help you with your business plan and make sure that you're ready. We won't ask you to do that alone. That score mentor will make sure that you're ready. And also, if you're the winner, that score mentor is going to help you to allocate those funds in the way that you've indicated. And here are our prizes. We thank these local banks for being so good to us and providing these funds: Southern Bank, First Bank, and North State Bank. The first place prize is $5,000. That is a nice piece of change for a startup. A second place, $3,000. Third place, $1,500. And then we're going to have what we call a crowd favorite. There may be one business that everybody just really likes a lot and they have high hopes for. Now, one of the first, second, or third place winner may also be the crowd favorite. So any one of these can get an additional $500, or one business can get the $500. But that's what we're going to do on October 21st. And just to let you know this, we're usually running our program from 6:30 to 8:30, but on the 21st of October, when we have our judges and all of that, we will probably run over. So if you all will plan to try to hang with us until probably at least 9 o'clock that night, we'll do everything as efficiently as possible. But if we run over, we want you to plan for that because we'd like for you to stay until the end. We have resources for you to get ready for the business plan competition. There is a business plan template, which we've had on the Raleigh Score website since the first program. You can use that if you're just going to put your business plan together. Also, we're going to have a presentation template that will show you and guide you on how you can boil that plan down into 12 to 15 slides. So that's where the resources are, raleigh.score.org. Most of you have been on that site. Also, I'd like to remind you all, you're registered, of course, for this course, but if you will register for each session, we will be at this same Zoom link, but we'd like for you to register for each one because that helps our chapter to keep track of our numbers. So if you have not, you only signed up for one, go back in and sign up for the other 5. So tonight, I just introduced the program. Our facilitators are here, but I'm going to hold our facilitators until the end to talk about what they've been doing, and those that are presenting, Jay Graves and Darlene, they can talk about that as they do their presentations tonight. So tonight we have the chapter chair for Raleigh Score, Mark Wilson is here. Mark, are you ready to speak?
I think so. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this next phase of this exciting program. I just want to take a minute to thank all of the presenters, all the folks that were involved in getting this put together, and particularly thank all of you for investing the time that I think is well worth it to take advantage of this program. I hope that you'll get a lot out of it. I think the Raleigh Score chapter has worked hard to try and get some folks that were willing to put some money up for this competition. I think that's an exciting upgrade from last time that we did this. And hopefully you all will take advantage of that. And we're looking forward to that competition and seeing you all participate. So on behalf of the Raleigh Score, I think chapter as well as the Score National, I think this is definitely right down the wheelhouse for a Score as we commit to trying to ensure that we provide the services along with our partner Shaw University to ensure and to try and assist all these entrepreneurs and yourselves, hardworking folks, to be successful. So good luck to you and hang with it. And I think you'll get a lot out of it. All right, Patty, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I wanted to let you all know that the $10,000 that we have to give away, Mark has worked ever since January to get the banks to donate to us. And there's a lot of leg work and logistical things that he had to do, getting them everything that they needed. So Mark, we want to give you a special thanks for doing that for us. All I had to do was give him the information and he took care of it and he worked on it all up until now to get these funds for us. And we really appreciate what you did. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Thank you. Dr. Wood, we'd like to hear from you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to this group. And I bring everyone greetings from Shaw University. We're delighted to partner with Score again on another successful series. As I mentioned in other series, it's always a joy for me to see the preparation and the presentation because I think that it's second to none. And I also want to let the group know something about what's going on at the Shaw School of Business and Professional Studies. We emphasize 5 hallmarks. One is, basically we say we expect growth. So the EX stands for experiential learning, the P for professional development, the E is for entrepreneurship. So you see that this is a really good fit tonight. And the C is for certifications, and the T is for technological skills. So those are the hallmarks that we're focusing on to transform the students who are enrolled in the programs in the School of Business and Professional Studies. We're very serious about preparing the students for successful careers. So it's not just a job for us, it's a passion. the entrepreneurship part, several of our students have interest in this area. And so I was very, very happy to see that our partnership with SCORE is continuing. One thing that we are doing at Shaw that you may not know about, and I want to just let you know early so that you can say you heard it first here, is that we're starting a Center for Cybersecurity Education and Research. Our technology area is really taking off. We have some new faculty who are partnering with our ongoing faculty in the area of technology. And we are going to be distinguishing ourselves in the area of cybersecurity. We don't want to be behind the group. We want to be trailblazers in this area. So if you know of others who might have interest in a career in cybersecurity, direct them to Shaw. We are very serious about high quality education. And tonight we will be seeing high quality education for the community. To each of the participants who has joined this call, I know that the facilitators are going to do an amazing job. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wood. We appreciate your support. And we keep Dr. Wood up to date on what we're doing, and she's always so supportive. So we thank you. And if you're not able to stay the entire evening, we understand, but we appreciate you coming and welcoming our group and getting us started tonight. Thank you. So as I mentioned to you all, we're going to jump right in and get started with our content tonight, since we're going to do this in 6 weeks. So we're going to be moving pretty quickly. So tonight we have Jay Graves is going to bring us some information to get us started. And you all, most of you know Jay, but he'll introduce himself and he will kick off this content for us.
All right,
Jay.
Patty. Yeah, Patty, real quick. I need co-host privileges so I can.
Absolutely.
But while we're working on that, yeah, it's great. Like I said at the beginning, it's great to see some familiar faces and wonderful to see a bunch of new faces here and new names. So my name is Jay Graves. I'm the founder of Pathfinder Business Consultants. We do diversity, equity, inclusion consulting, as well as organizational excellence. And since we've been on kind of this journey together, I guess Patty said, kind of bring you up to speed on what we've been doing. Like everybody, COVID hit me pretty hard. I had been in business for less than a year. I had a phenomenal business plan in place and was starting to execute that and see growth. It relied heavily on being a speaker. I did a lot of public speaking before. I had 11 nicely paid speaking engagements with some really wonderful, high profile potential clients. And COVID hit and all of those got canceled. So I quickly had to figure out, how am I going to go online? How am I going to make up revenue streams? How do I continue to work on my mission and my passion that was the reason why I started my business, and navigate through COVID. So I followed the methodology that you'll learn throughout this process and that we've taught in past sessions around business planning. I leaned on mentors and I relied on my tribe. And through that, I was able to quickly pivot and my business and navigate successfully. So right now, I was really originally working with small businesses at the time, and grew to the point now where I've got a couple of Fortune 500 companies as clients, and I've actually got 3 global clients, one headquartered in India, one headquartered in London, and one headquartered in Germany now. So I am on these meetings late at night and early in the morning and throughout, but it's been a complete joy. So I'm blessed to be here with everybody, and I'm thoroughly thrilled to still be able to share time with the group here and all my colleagues that I just absolutely love spending time with here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and get us started. So the topic that we're going to kick off with is the difference between an entrepreneur and a business owner. And the reason why we do this is because, we have a lot of people that we would be coaching and they would say, well, I want to learn so I can be an entrepreneur. And then we would talk to them about, what is it you want to do? And we started to see that there was some confusion between the nuances between an entrepreneur and a business owner. And so there really is kind of a difference in, say, mindset and really kind of what your mission is and how you organize yourself to accomplish what you want to do. So I love to be interactive. So I'm going to ask, first of all, everybody see my screen okay? Thumbs up. Okay. All right. So everybody know where the chat is? If you find the chat, I want you to throw out, what are some of the behaviors, or what do you think it means to be a business owner? So just go ahead and put that in the chat, and we'll populate that here for a minute. Don't be shy. Wear multiple hats. Yes. Forward thinking. Responsibility employee. Yeah. Good. Good. All right. We got a lot of good stuff coming in. Hardworking. 12-hour days. Oh my goodness. Only 12 hours. I'm just kidding. Love it. Love it. All right. Okay. So now let's see what you would say are the attributes for an entrepreneur. Big ideas to life, innovative, visionary, never sleep. Well, hopefully, if you follow the methods that we'll be teaching you here, you'll learn how to work in your business and on your business and be able to get some sleep in between there as you're building. So these are great. These are great. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So I think this is, I picked an entrepreneur that probably most everybody recognizes. This is Elon Musk. And just some of the attributes that we see in these individuals, and some of you really hit on this in the chat, is those big ideas. I think somebody actually put that in the chat. They have these big ideas. They're often untested ideas, and they're aspirational ideas. So if you look at what Elon has set out to do, I think his first business with PayPal was to empower people to be able to have a different way of interacting financially. So that was kind of his baby step. It was a multi-million-dollar baby step that turned out to be very successful. But then you fast forward now with what he's doing with SpaceX. His mission was to get to Mars, and he knew that all the technology that it would take to hit that vision and hit that goalpost would create a lot of innovations that would help us here on Earth be better. So the technology that came from the cars that he's working on, the Teslas, the technology there, all of that around sustainability, the reusable rocket, all these different things actually are things that we start to see day to day and help advance our own technology, right? So, but these are really untested, aspirational. Not all of us walk around saying, my goal is to get to Mars. They're often disruptors. They just have a way of seeing some untapped and much needed resource or solution out there that a lot of us just don't see around that corner. And so they kind of have this ability to have this vision and be very visionary in what they do. They're also high risk people. I mean, there are times, if you reflect to Elon here, he's had some shaky times. I mean, there were times when SpaceX was looking like it might go bankrupt. There were times when he was saying, hey, I can only blow up like 2 more rockets or we're done. So these are high risk, high reward type individuals. And, hold on now. It's been a long day, people. And they also fail fast. And this is something that you will see span across in business as well as entrepreneurs, but it is really, really in the mindset. They'll come up with this visionary, disruptive, untested idea, test it, and they're okay with failure. Actually, failure for them is just a data point. And if you think about some of us that have worked in corporations, sometimes we tend to be really conservative in these situations, right? Where you kind of want to test something, but that might not look so good to the boss, or it might not look so good to the shareholders, or, so sometimes we kind of march forward very conservatively. But these individuals say, I want to test 30 different things. Maybe only one works, but I'm going to fail fast, learn, and move on. When you think about it, like Thomas Edison for the light bulb had something like thousands of trials for the light bulb before he came up with a light bulb. So most of us don't have that type of fortitude to want to be able to fail day in and day out, but these entrepreneurs do. And again, I think, this was also in the chat, they have vision, they build teams. And this is the same thing that you'll find with a business owner. We'll have a vision. I have a vision for my business. I've built a team, but it runs without them. So a lot of times they'll have multiple things going on, and a lot of these different ideas and a lot of these different things that they want to test, learn, and fail fast at or iterate on. And they'll build that. They'll have that idea. They'll find the right talent, see that talent, and move on to something else. So they're not really in the day-to-day operations for what they're looking at. They'll build and move on. So let's talk about business owners. So everybody knows Oprah Winfrey. Harpo Industries, big business, very successful. So first and foremost, I would venture to say that probably 99% of us on this call are business owners, which is great. We should be really, really proud about that, because we are the backbone of the economy. We're the ones that can create generational wealth. We're the ones that, really make the economy run. So it's critical that we have business owners, and particularly small business owners, out there and active. A lot of times business owners will take an existing idea and they'll make it yours. So for my business, there are a lot of people out there that do diversity consulting, and there are a lot of people out there that do organizational excellence. I have my own way of doing it. I have my own mode of doing it, and I have my own way that makes it successful for me, but it's not a new idea. You could probably throw a rock and find other people out there like me, but it's how I do it and the kind of nuances that I've taken on it that make it successful. The other thing too is applying best practices. So, a lot of times people call this fast follower, because a lot of us are starting businesses that already exist. We know the best practices. We see what people have failed at. We see what other people have been successful at. We can take that, we can collate that when we're making these business plans that we're all going to be working on in the upcoming sessions. And then we work in and we work on our business. So I mentioned this before. There's a bit of an inflection point. Patty actually did a lot of mentoring with me early on, and she kept saying, Jay, you're going to have to get to the point where you're not always working in your business. You're going to have to get to that point where you're going to be able to bring people onto your team. You're going to have to find ways of, using virtual assistants. You're going to have to find ways to find resources out there to help you, because you're going to burn out or you're going to move at a slower pace. So, we work on, and then ultimately we hope to work, in, and hopefully we work on our business. So now, taking that advice, she's right. So now what I do is I've been able to pull together a team to where I've got this whiteboard here, and I write things out, and I think about strategy, and I think about revenue streams, and I think about how do I fix, certain things, and how do I want to expand, and how do I want to target, and then I'm able to rely on a team to be able to help pull that to fruition. And then I kind of alluded to this before, you take an idea and you make it yours. You really are your secret sauce. So, I was looking through the chat as everybody was introducing what they were doing. And I cannot wait to get the opportunity to meet everybody in here, because, as I was looking at those businesses and the names and everything else, it's like, all right, what is it that you're bringing to the table to make that really unique? If we're in a manufacturing capacity, or if we're in transportation or logistics or printing or something like that, like, what is that special sauce that you bring to the table? What's your superpower that's going to take your business plan and add you to it and really make it accelerate? So that's going to be exciting, because we've done this before and we always see it. And then life cycle and bell curve. You know, we're here to look like a business, and I'm not going to go deep into this, but a business, you know, sometimes it's got a life cycle, right? You start to you take off and you get to maturity, and you got to think of new revenue streams, and you've got to adjust with the market. I mean, you take COVID, for example, right? My life cycle was shortened by years with COVID hitting. But you know, we're usually kind of in this life cycle where we're managing our business to certain points, and then we've got to figure it out and get it to another point and another point. So that's kind of something that's constantly on your brain as a business owner versus an entrepreneur that might say, I'm dropping that. I've invested in that. I've got 50 other things going on. So, you know, I've got a broad portfolio. Where we're running our business, we can't really drop it like that. And then innovation follows mastery. So this is just something that I think is really, really important. I am a big strengths-based individual. So one of the things that I tell everybody is you all have a talent and a hidden talent, or maybe you know your talent. I know for me, a lot of it was hidden until I had people telling me about it, or I had opportunities where I reflected and said, wow, you know, I really did that well, and I think I'm good at this. I did this. It wasn't so good. I'm not good at that. I'm not going to spend time on that. I'm just not good for that. So your innovation follows mastery. So really, really take the time to think about your strengths and what, again, makes that secret sauce for you. Partnerships, and I'll say mentorship. Look for opportunities to partner. Dr. Angie and I, we have done RFPs together. We have worked together. We've shared information. She loaded me up the other night with so many ideas. It was amazing. But you got to look for those partners and those mentors to help you out. And then think of uncovered opportunities. Even though we may take a traditional business or a traditional business concept and we say, hey, you know, this is something that's out there. I want to do it too. It's exciting for me, and it's where my passion lies. But think about other little different ways of doing things. And that's something that really successful business owners do. So, all right, pop quiz. This person on the screen here, prior COVID beard. I want to see in chat.
Jay,
yeah.
before we go to chat, there are a couple of questions
that
I'd like to pause and have you address, just because chat is going to flood and we may lose them. They're really good questions, by the way.
Let's do it.
The first question is, given the juxtaposition, love that word, between Elon Musk and an Oprah Winfrey, is one of the requirements for an entrepreneur unlimited capital or access to it to support multiple failures and have the resources to hire people for that day-to-day, for those day-to-day matters?
Well, the interesting thing about both of them is they came from humble beginnings. So I don't know if anybody has read the background of both of those individuals, but they didn't come from wealth. And so, you know, but what they did was they had the will, the skill, the talent, and the vision and the perseverance to be able to develop their plan, follow their plan. So what I would say is that Elon Musk, you look at Elon Musk's early career, he built a business, and it was an innovative business with PayPal because nothing existed like that before. So it was a little, but he was a business owner, right? But that generated wealth. And then he bootstrapped that into another idea. And that gave him the credibility and the access to capital to them and the business acumen and trust to be able to continue to expand and gain access to capital. You think of Oprah, definitely humble beginnings, right? But think about it, Oprah Winfrey Show. I mean, other people had talk shows. They've been having talk shows for years, so she wasn't doing anything different. But she had this magic and connection with her crowd, her people, and then she gained that trust. And of course, it made a lot of money. So same thing. Then she started investing in other areas. Then she started following her dream in other areas that she was interested in. The difference there, though, is she runs the day-to-day in those businesses through Harpo. So, but they all had to work to get access to capital.
If I can, Jay, if I can add to that answer, one of the characteristics or one of the patterns you see in successful business owners and entrepreneurs is that they do the things that they have the resource to do, as opposed to trying to do things that they don't have enough resource to do it the way that it needs to be done. And so if they don't have the resource, they'll stop and accumulate that resource, whether it's seeking capital or whatever, or they'll narrow the things they're working on so that they have enough resource to do that one or two things very successfully. So that's another way that business owners and entrepreneurs have sufficient resource to execute their projects. That becomes a criteria for them.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's a great point. And I'd like to add to that, giving an experiential example. So Patty and Bill have coached, mentored me around narrowing your focus. So while your business idea, passion, desire may be to focus on 2 or 3 services, find that one service that you're best at, that you know you can do with your eyes closed, etc. And you perfect that. You begin to generate revenue around that. You create a reputation of credibility around that. Meanwhile, you're also reinvesting in your business from that revenue and income that you're generating. And now you do this thing called expand. So you don't jump at it all night. Now, I will tell you, and Bill knows this story, 30 years ago, I just jumped out there and went for it. And what happened? I'm that entrepreneur who isn't afraid of failure. So I just kept failing until I found some success in it. And there's lessons there. But with much more wisdom and experience now, take your time, focus on one thing, particularly when you have limitations in access to capital or resources.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, the reality is that a lot of us are going to do what's called bootstrapping. So you really got to make sure you're focused in those situations. So for me, you know, I started my business with my own savings, my own money. And then I focused in a narrow way to Dr. Angie's point, got to the point, and part of my business plan had these milestones where if you get to this point, you now have enough money to where you can invest and expand and invest and expand. Now, I probably could have gone to a bank. They probably would have said no. I don't know. They probably would have said no. But now, you know, I do have a bank, and now they're coming at me all the time asking me if they can give me money. I don't need their money anymore. I've bootstrapped myself to where I need to be. So when you get in all these kind of capital situations and finance situations, they can be pretty cumbersome, but probably 9 times out of 10, we're going to be bootstrapping, which to Dr. Angie's point and Bill's point, you got to stay focused. If you think about that, you know, the wealth generated from a PayPal or a wealth generated from the Oprah Winfrey show, that was really just a form of bootstrapping. Now, I'm sure banks were really quick to invest. And I mean, you have sponsors and all kinds of stuff that comes from that. But you had to start with that one point, that one expertise. I'm a great speaker. I'm a great host. And so I'm going to do that really well. And I'm going to get my name out there as Oprah Winfrey. And they will come to me. And you get to that point, and then you see the expansion. Yeah, definitely don't overextend yourself. I can tell you that I'm a whiteboarder, right? To the point where it is sitting here next to my desk, because I'll think of an idea, and if I don't write it down, it's gone. If I try to execute everything that's actually on the backside of this board, which is kind of my future vision, if I try to jump into that now, I'd be asking y'all for a job, and my wife would be very upset with me. So you have to have that discipline. It's okay if you can't get to point C right now. It's okay. You want to make sure point A is solid. Point B makes sense to get you to C, and it's all right. I saw another question on there around virtual assistants. You know, I know others probably can tack onto this, but for me, I've used virtual assistants successfully. I know Dr. Angie has as well as others. And quite frankly, I use like Fiverr, which is and Upworks, which are websites you can go to that freelancers go to. I actually use Upworks quite a bit for different things. Like I've used it to help me build up marketing material. I've printing, virtual assistants. And the way those work, you get an opportunity to put what you want out there, the job that you want out there. So I need a virtual assistant to do this, and that for me, about 10 hours a week or whatever. People will apply. You get an opportunity to interview them. It's just like a job. With that, you have to ask the hard questions and make sure you're getting the right person that you're getting. But I can tell you that, when you find a really good virtual assistant, it can really help you exponentially in your business, because it's taking a lot off of your plate, and it's freeing up your bandwidth to do what you need to do. So the other thing I would say is outside of that is referrals. So when I said that I relied on my mentors and my tribe, I surround myself with a lot of great people, and people that I trust and I know have their best interest in me when I come to them with tough questions, and I know they'll shoot me straight. So sometimes that's been, hey, where should I go for this resource? I need to do this. Do you have anybody in mind? If they say, yes, you should talk to this person, then I will pick up the phone and talk to that person. So referrals is another big way to make sure that you get the support you need. Virtual assistants, accountants, and beyond. All of that support, I would say, if you can get a good referral, that's the way to go. Any other questions?
There are some questions about the competition. Patty responded in the chat.
Okay.
We'll be giving more logistical responses toward the end as well. So I think this is a good time to pick back up, Jay.
All right. Well, I'm about to end here. So I think I saw a couple of people. So as Jay, an entrepreneur or a business owner, so I consider myself a business owner. When I look at my strengths, with the experiences that I've had in my career, they're around strategy, leadership, personal reasons. I've always been a social advocate, so I've had a very strong diversity journey and background, and coupled those together, and that's what formed Pathfinder. I didn't set out to try to get to Mars. I set out to try to change behavior in society one corporation at a time. So if I can work with an organization and I can get that mindset changed throughout that organization, and we can help some of the people in there, it impacts their families and it hopefully impacts generations. That's as far as Jay Graves' mind went. I don't think about the next disruptive widget or anything like that. I am involved, I because of the strategy, because I'm strong at strategy and strong at leadership, I am on boards. I do sit as partner with other companies or on their boards, but it's because I enjoy doing the advisory work. But again, they're using my strength of strategy. So I'm humbled and proud to say I know my strengths, and my strengths aren't to be an Elon Musk. I can't tell you how to figure out that widget. So that is it for my session. Are there any other questions that anybody wants to ask or put in chat?
Feel free to come off mute and ask a question if you'd like. No wrong question.
Day one, always shy.
I see some curious looks among some faces.
Marketing
No.
There is a
strategy.
question
We will
in-
definitely be getting into marketing strategy, but the short answer to that is, who is your intended target? Who is it that you are trying to get through? Who is your buyer? And backwards plan from there. But we'll definitely be getting into that in later sessions. But if you always keep your ultimate customer in mind, and backwards plan from that, like what's the best way to reach them? What's the best way to connect with them? Then you're on the right path. Now I will tell you, you got to be good at that. So I actually was with a client today, and they were talking about, one of their employees was talking about how they worked for a financial institution. And the financial institution used to market to men, because they were like, well, the men are the ones who are doing the retirement planning and all of that. Well, they decided to take a deep dive into their customer base. And what they found was, unfortunately, most men were not around to really receive a lot of that wealth end of things, right? It was the women. And so what they realized is that their actual intended target were the wives. And so they started hiring more women. They put women in positions of power, and they started their whole diversity program based around women, and they grew exponentially. So that's top of mind for me right now, because it's a lesson. You may think that you know your intended target. Take the time to really think about who your intended target is. Biggest failure that taught you the best lesson. Oh my goodness. I have so many. That's a great question, because I am like literally filing through all my different failures. I would say that it does go back to that focus. I have a lot of areas that I'm really good at and I'm interested in, and they excite me. And I decided to leave corporate and start my own business because I wanted to do what made me happy, what made me proud, what energized me day in and day out at this point in my career. And there were so many things that I did start to tackle too much. And so I started to build out this product and this solution and this solution and this solution. And then I started getting traction in each one, and I couldn't handle it. So I started to have to back off, and it was so hard. I mean, I had trouble sleeping because I was like, well, you know, how am I going to, I've got 3 people now that want to do leadership stuff. I got 2 people that want to do this here. I love them both. Like, well, how do I say no? And so I literally had to I changed my business plan back to say, okay, look, this is what the market's telling you. Start here. Just start right here. It'll be okay. Yeah, you might be leaving money on the table or something, but you're also setting yourself up for future success. So I think that was probably the biggest lesson as a new business owner for me. Strengths. So, I've always had this leadership, I guess, philosophy of seeing the best in people. And I started my career in the military, and I saw people, get through extraordinary circumstances and really bring out sides of them that maybe they didn't even know about. And I became a very curious person around behaviors, and I studied behavior. I became a real student of behavior. And so I took that with me to corporate. And so I would ask people, what are you really good at? Let's have some psychological safety here. It's okay to say you're not good at something. What are you really good at? What drives you? What makes you want to get up in the morning and do something? And so it's through those conversations that really kind of brought that out with people. Then I learned about, there's a program called Strengths Finders. I'm a big proponent of Strengths Finders. It's on Gallup. You can find it on the internet. It's actually a book, has a little code. You take an assessment, a behavior assessment, and you can go in there and it'll stack rank your strengths. That's something that I started doing with my clients, the stuff that I did in corporate, to where we would then say, like, these are your top 5 strengths, and these are the things that make you tick. Now, how do we support you and harness you in those strengths? So that's probably the best way, is just take some time, be introspective, ask people who will shoot you straight. If you go to somebody who just wants to make you feel good, and just agree with you, that's probably not the best person to go to. I went to people like my wife, who straight shooter, to friends who really care and love me. I'd say, what am I good at? And what am I not so good at? And they would say, you're really brilliant here. You're terrible at this, Jay. And I was in my mind, I would say, yeah, you're right. You're right. And at the time I had a boss that had this mentality of fix your flaws. And I really, really struggle with that, because I stopped looking at what my strengths were, and I constantly was trying to get better here and get better here. And I just took a step back and said, no, if this career path follows these strengths, these opportunities follow these strengths, I'm going to celebrate my strengths. Yes, if I have to get better at Excel or math or something like that, great, I'll work on some technical skills, but I'm not great at finances. I can look at a P&L, we'll talk about P&Ls later, but you do not want me doing your accounting. You do not want me to be your CPA. You do not want me running your numbers. You do not want me running your statistics. So when I was getting my MBA, those classes, I was like, hey, I'm great at strategy, marketing, sales. I need somebody who's really good at that. And we would team up for projects. So once you learn what your strengths are, you can figure out how to surround yourself with people who have strengths that help you in areas where you're not strong.
So Jay, there are a couple other questions you may not have seen.
Sure, yeah.
One of them is advice on how to get funding for a business that's only a month old.
Oof. So that one might be a tough one. That's a month old. We'd have to take kind of a deep dive in that one to see what the business plan is, what the concept is, what the potential is. Is it ready to be pitched? That's really the whole point. And whoever asked that, I hope you stay for the whole duration of this, because our goal is to get you to the point where you could pitch your business, where you'd be able to put your business in front of somebody to get financing. It's a tough road. We talked about that in the last class. You really got to be ready because they're not just loaning money out to just anybody that says, hey, I want to create a taxi service and it's going to do this. I'm a great person. Give me money. Like, you really, really have to bring it to get those loans. But there are ways, and we'll probably get into that in other classes. There are groups out there that support small businesses, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, and things like that. All of them will require one heck of a business plan.
I will add, Jay, surprisingly, that some of us don't know about large corporations like Walmart and maybe Amazon, for sure Walmart, and others offer small startup grants, $1,000 here, $2,500 there. Because of COVID and the impact on the community, small businesses in particular, there are a lot of grant opportunities there. Many of them, candidly, want you to at least be in business for 1 or 2 years. At the same time, there are companies that are willing to support startups because we have to start somewhere. My short answer, though, Patty's going to love this, is stay with us for the entire 6 weeks, develop an award-winning business plan, and take that $5,000 win home. If I were you, that would be my goal.
Yes.
That's the entrepreneur in me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And when Jay, excuse me, Jay, let me make this point. When Jay spoke earlier about how he bootstrapped his business and he worked on it, and then they came with money. They did the same thing with me. After I had built my business and didn't need any money, the banks were knocking on my door. So the best thing you can do for yourself is put whatever into your business that you can. Build it as far as you can get it, because that's going to strengthen your business plan. Even when you go before a bank or a venture capitalist, they want to know, what did you do? Because it tells them what you can do with whatever they loan you. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have money, don't shy away from that. Just do all of the work that you can. If you can get your LLC and get a small marketing plan, build all of those plans and let them know, I've poured everything into this that I can. Now I need some help, because you have a plan, and have that solid business plan and start working on it. Because many of you will see this, that when you become successful and you don't need their money, they come to you. And when it happened to me, Jay, it made me a little bit angry.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, you all let me scrub my knees on the ground for these years. And now that I'm there, you're coming knocking on the door. They'll do that to you as well. But don't let that stop you. Just build the business slowly. If you can spend $100 out of your check this week to get the business cards, do everything that you can on your own, because that will, the people who know about business will respect that when they start looking at you.
And having on your plan that you won $5,000 and here's how you invested it and turned it into $20,000 helps. That's a good story. One of the things that I did want to say is that, so thanks for monitoring chat for me. I was kind of going through it. One of the things that's great about this program is your own interaction. And I know that in the last classes that we've done, people have teamed up and people have gotten to know each other. And I see in here, there's somebody, Tiffany, who's a Gallup Strengths coach, and there's a couple of questions below that. Somebody, Kelly, it looks like you took the strengths, but nobody showed you how to read it and how to maximize that. Katrina is asking where to take the strengths finder test. So we have some people in here. I would look at the chat and I would get together if I were you, and because I am a big believer in knowing yourself, being honest with yourself, understanding your superpower, and let that thing thrive, because it'll definitely help you through this journey.
And just a quick marketing tip. If you look particularly at Tiffany, at her screen name, she has her name. She also lists that she's a strengths and leadership coach. So, and using your name or whatever your brand is certainly wonderful. Those of you who are here with just the first name or iPhone, it's really hard to connect with you because people don't recognize your name or how to reach you. So Tiffany was quick to say, hey, this is what I do, because she was listening. Her ear was tuned in to an opportunity. That's how business works. And those who can respond quickly are the ones who get those opportunities. Yes, the drip sauna. Did you see what Sharice Taylor just dropped in on her screensaver? These are some of those subtle marketing things that you'll get along the way that can help you go that extra mile. Jay, you went right where I was going to go around connecting the two of them and that whole networking thing that happens virtually. We've used the term bootstrapping several times. Can you tell everyone what that really is? Because I know that some people aren't exposed to what bootstrapping is.
Sure. You're basically funding yourself. So if you say you've collected savings, or you're working a job and you're building your business on the side, it's your way of taking that money and building your business. And eventually you get to the point where your business is generating money, but you make $5,000. But you got to put 4,000 right back into the business to get it where it needs to be. So for example, as a consultant, there isn't a whole lot of startup actually, but you need like some equipment, you need a laptop, you need camera, you need this, you need that, so you need gas money, you need a car. So, you make that you sign that first client, right? You do a speaking engagement, you do something, you get $1,500, you say, okay, all right, great. I'm actually not going to pay myself. I'm going to go get that laptop now. Then you turn around and you make $2,000, $5,000. Say, okay, now I need the printer and I need this and I need that. I'm going to invest in that. Still not paying myself. And so you're really just kind of refunding yourself until you get to the point where I've got my tools, I've got my resources, and now the money that I'm making, less of it I have to reinvest into my business. The more I can put in my pocket, the more I can save for another expansion or whatever. But that goes along with your business plan. Like I said, for me, I had milestones where I said I had to fund this, and then I funded this from hitting that milestone, so on and so forth. Got to the milestone where I started to say, okay, now money's going in my pocket. Things are riding. All right.
Any other questions before we move on? All right, Jay, go ahead.
Excellent. Well, I think I am followed by Darlene, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I was looking for you on. It's like all these faces here. I was trying to find you.
Now, isn't this wonderful? All these
I love it.
Yes, this is beautiful to have all these faces in here so you can't find anybody. That's good. And I hope that all of these numbers, every one of you that's here is considering putting together your business plan so you can present it. Don't forget that we got to present it either tonight, you send an email to Patty, or tomorrow. That's it. Doors closed tomorrow night. So, tomorrow night. That's right. I did say that, didn't I?
No, we'll actually give them, we'll give them another
week. A whole week? A whole week.
Yes,
Very good. So you have a week. That's a week. That's good. That's good. But something I wanted to say when I was listening to the conversations, just a few things I wanted to share with you just before I share a part of my presentation. First of all, my name is Darlene Thorne. I am your caregiver's co-mentor. And what I do is I am a coach and mentor to women ministry leaders. And I help them take care of themselves from their body, from their soul, their mind, all of them so that they can be healthy all the way around so they can best serve those they've been called to. So that is one of the things that I do as a pastor's wife and a pastor myself. I also am an author, and you talk about things that you do. You want people to know. If you look right behind me, you see that little pink book back there. That's one of the books that I was a part of. And so you want to always be letting people know, what is it that you do? And one of the things that kind of like got me, I look over at Lisa Hinton. She is an agripreneur. And I know people are looking and says, what is an agripreneur? She is someone that works in the agricultural side, and she is an entrepreneur when it comes to agriculture. So you want to look around and see, what do these people do? What kinds of things can they do? Because one of the things that we also talked about was this collaboration. Collaboration is very important in what you're doing when you're looking to build your business, and sometimes you want to be able to collaborate with someone where you can bring your strengths and the other brings theirs. You bring them together and you're more powerful together. The other thing I wanted to share is that when Jay was talking about, you don't want me to be balancing your books, you don't want me. Well, this is what I realized. We've got to do this. We've got to celebrate your strengths and hire out your weaknesses. So you look at the people that are right here in this room. Who are those people that you know I can kind of get with you? What can I do so I can the things that I'm strong in? Focus on the things that I really have been called to do so I can take hold of that, take the bull by the horns and really run with that. And then have someone else, and I think there was someone in the chat that was talking about hiring a virtual assistant and having someone that delivers. You want to make sure that you're looking for those people that are going to deliver so that you can do what you need to do. And you can be like this. You can be like the horse that's running the race. They got their blinders on the side. They don't see too much on the left or the right. They're focused right. I got that goal right in front of me. And that's what you want to be able to do. So, and then the last thing I wanted to touch on is when they were talking about where can you get funding? How can you fund this? And one of the things that I think is really key is when you're going to go to someone, if you want to get someone to invest in you, one of the questions they will ask you in any number of ways, they want to know, what's your skin in the game? What have you put in? Because if you haven't put anything in, if you're coming and you're asking them, I need $50,000, I need $100,000, and they're asking you, how much have you invested in you? And your answer is, well, nothing. I don't have any money. Think about what the person that you're talking to is thinking about you. They want to know how can I invest in you if you haven't invested in you? And the investment in you can be many things. And one of the things that you have done is being right here. And as we talked about, you have the opportunity to be a part of our competition and garner some funds that you can do some things with. The other thing is important is, I think someone also put in the chat, they went to work so that they could earn some money so they could fund what they really want to do. I'll share with you a friend of mine. She is an entrepreneur to her heart. And one of the things that she did, she was born in France. So she grew up speaking French. And so she was a dual language, French and English. And she wanted to do something. There was a business idea that she had. And she knew it at the time. She didn't have the funds to do what she wanted to do. And she remembered the skill set that she had, that she speaks French. She also had a degree in business and had these other degrees. So what she did was she went and taught. She taught French for a year, got the funding that she needed, so then she could go and do what she wanted to do. I believe that that's one of the things that when we're talking about people who have the entrepreneur mindset, they do what they need to do to get what they need to get. So that's what I'm going to be talking to you about. What kind of mindset do you need to have, or what kind of mindset does an entrepreneur have versus the mindset that a business owner has? So I'm going to run through, well, not run through, I'm going to walk you through some of the characteristics and the mindset of an entrepreneur. I did have some slides, but I wasn't able to get a hold of them. So I'm going to just walk you through them. And I hope you all have pencil and paper. Can I see those of you have your things there? I see. Thank you, Marshall. Who else got a pencil? Yeah, I thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Lisa. All right, Lynn, I see you. I see you. Jay, I see you guys. Yeah, Glenn, I see you all. You've got your pen. Let me change. Let me go to another page. Let me see. I got some more folk that have their pens and pencils and notebooks. Yes, Tiffany, I see you. Felicia says she's got hers ready too. I want you to be able to write these things down so that you'll be able to look back, and as you're writing these things down, you ask yourself these questions. Just as Jay asked you, based upon what he said, what did you see him as? I want to share with you these, amen, iPhone, I don't know his name. But iPhone says he's got his pen, he's ready. I want you to look and think about yourself and say, am I an entrepreneur or am I a business owner? So let's look at one of the first things about an entrepreneur. One thing about the entrepreneur is they are very, very independent. That's one of the most important aspects of the entrepreneur mindset. They're really independent. They're like, I'm doing what I want to do. They march to the beat of their own drum. Apple's founder, Steve Jobs, he said, don't let the noise of others' opinion drown out your own inner voice. Because with Steve Jobs, he was the one that says, this is what I think. I am a thinker, and I'm looking to build this, and I cannot have other voices drowning out what I need to be thinking about to be who I'm supposed to be. Entrepreneurs don't follow the crowd. They're the ones that, what do they say? They color outside of the lines. As a matter of fact, they'll draw another picture on the picture that's already out there and color that. That's the entrepreneurs. That's one of the mindset aspects of an entrepreneur. They are independent. Number two, they're responsible. They're responsible. What do I mean when I say responsible? That means that they take full responsibility for their actions. They don't blame anybody. They don't blame others for their present situation. They're like, this is where I'm at, and I'm going to look at how I can make it better. How did I get here? And they learn from the things that they're doing. And they take full responsibility because it said, this is my business. I make it, I break it. It's my business. So failure and success, life circumstances, that doesn't matter. Even if something isn't your fault. By taking responsibility for that, you empower yourself. Even if it's not your fault. You said, you know what? I'll take it and I'll learn from it. How do I empower myself? What are the things that I did that got me to that place? And what am I going to learn from it so it doesn't happen again? So you take full responsibility. The third thing is that they are abundant. And they have an abundance mindset. They do not think that there's a ceiling. Their ceiling is the sky. They don't have a glass ceiling. Their ceiling is the sky. Beyond. I can go as far as I want to go. That's the way they think. They say, I can always make more money. They make money, they lose money, and they make more money. That is the mindset of that entrepreneur. They're an abundance thinker. They're an abundance thinker. Money, they do not, and this is one thing that you want to think about. Is this me? Do you hoard money and knowledge? Or do you give away? I'm going to share everything I know. I'm going to share what I know because I want you to be just as free as I am. What did I do to get free? I'll share with you my secrets. And they don't mind because they know that there's enough for everybody. They know there's enough for everybody. So one of these guys, you know Robert Kiyosaki? Anybody know Robert Kiyosaki? Kiyosaki, I usually pronounce his name incorrectly. But this is what he said. He said, I have never met a rich person who has never lost any money. But he said this, he says, but I've met a lot of poor people who never lost a dime. They never lost a dime because they never made anything. What are you doing? What kind of mindset do you have? Do you have an abundance mindset, or do you have, I need to hold on to everything because I don't know if any more is coming in? There's always more to be had. Number 4, they are goal oriented. Are you guys following me? You guys following me? You guys got it? Okay, let me see you. Nod your heads. Okay, cool. They're goal oriented. Every entrepreneur, their thinking is goal oriented. What do I mean? They have SMART goals. You all remember what SMART goals are, right? Let me see. Nod your heads if those of you who are on camera. Okay, Cleopatra, I see you nodding your head. Stacy, you're nodding your head. Tiffany, yeah, you. Okay, Arthur is like, no, I don't know what it is. So I'm going to tell you either way. I'm going to tell you. A SMART goal is this. It is an acronym. An acronym for specific. It's specific. It's measurable. You writing this down? I'm waiting for Arthur. Okay. S is for specific. M is for measurable. A is for attainable. R is for relevance. And T is for, it could either be time sensitive or time bound. But it has a time measure that you get it done in a timely manner. You do it, it's very specific. You don't say, now I'm going to throw this one out here. You don't just say, I want to lose weight. Because that is not specific. A specific thing is, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay? I want to lose 10 pounds in, and what is the time that you want to give yourself? I want to lose 10 pounds in 1 month. Okay, so you're saying you're giving it 6 months. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? A half a pound? But I know COVID gets us all eating. Oh my gracious, but we're gonna do better. So you say, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds in a month. You're giving yourself, it's a specific, it is measurable. And measurable means, so what do I have to do? That means you make those changes, those things you need to do. So you measurable, you make it attainable. You don't say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in a month. Because you know that that's not going to happen. So you want to make sure that it is attainable, relevant, something that you know you're going to do, something that's connected to you, that helps you to keeps it in the front of your mind. This is what's necessary for me. And then again, time sensitive in how much time you're going to take to do that thing. So that's what a SMART goal is. That's what the entrepreneur is. They are goal oriented. They're always going for the gold. And they always have a plan. I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this. They always have a plan. And number 5, they are not afraid of failure. You know what? They're like, and as Jay talked about earlier, he mentioned Thomas Edison. And I was thinking, I said, yeah, I'm thinking about him too. Thomas Edison said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's all. I can now cross them off. And those things don't work, and it's getting me closer to the things that do. When you're doing business and people tell you no, you don't take no as failure. You're saying the no is getting me closer to my yes. That's what that's all about. Each failure is simply a stepping stone to learn from, helping you move closer to your success. So failing at something doesn't mean that you're a failure. Absolutely, failing forward. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means that something didn't work out the way you hoped it did. So you try something else. Next, number 6. Number 6. The entrepreneur is growth oriented. They have a growth mindset. They do not have a fixed mindset. They have a growth mindset. They don't see it as there's nothing more that can happen. I'm stuck here. No. Not at all. They have a growth mindset. They believe that they can grow as people. They can learn new things, learn new skills. They can do some new stuff. Now, I will say this. They also believe that they can improve themselves, but they are not going to bend and spend a whole lot of time becoming proficient and an expert at that thing. They'll be able to say, I know how to do it if I need to do it, because they've learned how to add it to their arsenal. That's their growth mindset. So with whatever consistent effort they put in, they can always shape themselves into doing whatever it is that they want to do and being what it is they want to be. Okay, so we want to keep working. Keep working. Number 7, they're feedback seeking. They're feedback seeking. These are people that, they're not looking for validation. They don't want you to tell them that they're good. Why? Because they already know that they're good. They already know that they're successful because they have an abundance mindset. They're already thinking that there's always something more, something they can learn. They're good at what they do, and if they don't do well at that one, they can do something else, and they don't mind all this stuff. So that's who they are. So to them, they're not looking for you to validate them. They want to know, how can I make it better? They want feedback, how they can make it better. Number 8, they are learning oriented. They are learning oriented. And you won't find the entrepreneur watching TV. If they're watching something on TV, it is something that is helping them grow their business. They're reading a book on business. They're taking an online course that's helping them to develop in their business. Or they're reading a business book. They're doing something that is always taking them to their next. Because that's the mentality of that entrepreneur. Number 9. And I'm almost done. I promise I won't keep you long. Are you guys getting something out of this? Okay, number 9. They are forward thinkers. They're forward thinkers. They're always thinking long term. What else can I do? How can I make this better? And I see Tiffany nodding her head. She's like, yeah. How can I make it better? How can I make it bigger? How can I make it shinier? That's what the forward thinker is. Warren Buffett, he said this. He said, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. So they're always thinking in the future, how can what I do now affect my future? They're not thinking just today. They're not thinking about next year. They're thinking, what is what I'm doing now? How is it building legacy for those who are coming behind me? How can I take what I have and pass it along to my children and my children's children? That's the way they think. They keep working and they're patient until they've reached that reward, that thing that gives them the pleasure and says, yeah, I got it. Number 10, they are self-accepting. They're self-accepting. And a lot of people, they struggle with accepting themselves. There's something they might not like about themselves. You know, some of us might not like some things about ourselves, something we want to change. But they don't devalue themselves. They recognize that everything they have because it's a necessity for what it is they do. So if you develop a growth mindset, you know you can always change and improve. So successful entrepreneurs, they accept themselves just as they are. you know, bumps and all. They accept themselves for where they are. And they know that all those things change. You know, we don't look like we lived before, like we looked before. We're always changing. They accept themselves in every season of their lives. Okay. Number 11, they are self-aware. They are self-aware. The only thing that holds us back is ourselves. And so they take a good look on the inside. What am I doing? How am I presenting myself? Am I truly self-aware? Because you got to remember I said before that they do what? They take responsibility for whatever it is that they do. So they're very self-aware of where they are and their surroundings, the people that they're interacting with, all of that. They are very, very self-aware. And how many of us practice that? How many of us practice knowing our surroundings? Who's in the room with you? And who can you be doing business with? Who are the people you might need to avoid in this season of your life? Because there's some people you don't need to have in your space. Remember I talked about the blinders, and sometimes you got to have those blinders on because sometimes people try to distract you from where you're going. You protect your energy. So you've got to be extremely self-aware. And I talked about this at the very beginning when I first came on, and I talked about collaboration. That's one of the things that the entrepreneur does. They collaborate. They really want to collaborate. They don't do things by themselves. Let's think about, as we talked about Elon Musk. Well, let's talk about Jeff Bezos. He didn't get Amazon by himself. He collaborated. Now, granted, there's a lot of people that think, they have their thoughts about him, but he collaborated. I'm just going to leave that. Leave it at that. But there is an African proverb that I would like to share with you. It says, and we've said it before. I think Dr. Angie said it before in one of our last classes. She said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You want to go fast? Go alone. I see you writing, Arthur, so I'm going to say it slowly. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I'm just going to let that one sit for a second. Because I want you to know that it's important that we need one another, that we're not doing this by ourselves. And even in our bootstrapping, we still need that job that's going to provide the finances for us to do what we do. We're going to need to have someone that's going to walk with us. Number 13. An entrepreneur, they are courageous. Because it's not easy to do this. It's not easy starting a business. Because some people will tell you, they think you're crazy, and they'll say, why are you going to do this? Excuse me, how are you going to do this? Who told you could do this? And if you're like Jay and me, we are not the numbers people, they're going to say, how are you going to keep your numbers straight? How are you going to take care of that? You don't do that. That's not your strong suit. But they don't understand that the entrepreneur is the one that's going to find that person that does what they don't do. and collaborate with them. So they're courageous and they take those steps. Peter Drucker said, whenever you see a successful business, someone made a courageous decision. Somebody did it. Why can't it be you or me? Why can't it be us? And number 14, they are comfortable with discomfort. Because business is always changing. You never know what happens from day to day, but they expect it. They said, I don't know what's going to happen today, but I know what I'm setting out to do. I know what my goals are. Remember, I set my SMART goals. So I know what it is that I'm going to do. I know what it is that I'm bringing to the table. I don't know what the day may bring, but I know what I'm bringing. And they're comfortable with discomfort because they're making sure that they're prepared. That if the day is going to bring them something else, they're going to be able to be flexible and shift with it, still accomplishing the goal that they set out to accomplish. Why? Because they're courageous. Why? Because they take responsibility. Why? Because they have an abundance mindset. All of these things play into them being comfortable with being uncomfortable. They're adaptable. That's number 15. They're adaptable. And I'm almost finished. I'm almost finished, y'all. I'm almost finished. They're adaptable. The entrepreneurs, they have big goals. Huge goals. Entrepreneurs have big goals and they know that it's impossible to see the entire staircase before climbing. I had to read that one. They know it's impossible to see the entire staircase before climbing. But they climbed up the stairway anyway, knowing that when they get to the top of the stairs, they've reached their goal. But in the process, they know that there may be some twists and turns, but they're going to make the adjustments and they're going to get to the top of the stairs. I remember when I was in China, we took a trip to China and we actually walked up the Great Wall. And on the Great Wall, there were two sides. There was the regular side, and then there was the more treacherous side. Now, I took the regular side, and my daughter took the more treacherous side. And when I saw what the regular side was, I could only imagine what the treacherous side looked like. These stairs were not even. It wasn't pretty. They were blocks and they were staggered and jagged from side to side. So you had to make sure that you were, first of all, wearing the right shoes, had the right equipment, and you were balanced while you were going up these stairs. Some of the stairs were short, some of them were long. But you had to make sure that you were looking at where you were going, paying attention to where you were. So think about that in business. You've got to be paying attention to where you are. There's going to be changes that go back and forth, but you've got to be able to be adaptable. Go with the flow, but keep your balance or stay in harmony with who you are. Number 16, they're problem solvers. That's how they got in business in the first place. They saw a problem and they saw a need and they went to fill it. I see a problem, I know how to solve it, and I can make money while I'm doing it. That's what they do. So you think about some of these businesses that have been garnered, where some of the business that came into being, how did they come? Because somebody needed. I'm thinking about Redbox. You want to be able to watch a movie, but you didn't want to go to the movies. You wanted to eat your own popcorn at home and save $6. So Redbox was born. So you think about these things, they find a need and they fill it. Number 17, they are driven and tenacious. Mark Cuban said it's not about money or connections. It's about the willingness to outwork and outlearn everybody when it comes to your business. Driven and tenacious, that means they throw themselves into it. And I think somebody was talking about 12-hour days, 14, 16-hour days, lack of sleep. But they were doing it because they knew they had, first of all, they had their goals. And they knew that they only had a certain amount of time because they believed that there's a window of opportunity and I need to get through there before the window closes. So they're driven and they're going to get it done. They're going to make sure that they accomplish what needs to be accomplished so that, right, they're too inspired to be tired. Their minds are racing. Their ideas are just rolling through their head. They've got to get it done. And they're not sleeping until they're done. And they are focused. Number 18, they are focused. They are not looking at anything else. They don't procrastinate. They always make sure that they're putting, remember I talked about the goal, the SMART goals? They prioritize. They know what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, how it needs to be done, who are they going to call on to help them get this particular thing done. Why? Because when they were in those rooms networking and other people were just talking fluff, they were talking because they walked in the room, they were on a mission. They said, I know I need somebody that's going to help me with this, and this. And I'm not leaving this room until I have the information for these people that are going to help me get to my next. That's the way the entrepreneur thinks. Everything they do is intentional. Everything they do with the end goal in mind. They're action oriented. That's number 19. They're always taking action. They're always taking action. What is the next thing I need to do? They are not frivolous in what they do. They're always taking action. And number 20 is that they are decisive. The entrepreneurs, they must confront problems and make many decisions every single day. Often, they don't have a whole bunch of people to be with them to make decisions because they think they are so hard and doing every single thing they think on their own. But they are extremely decisive because, first of all, they know what they want and they know what they're going after. So, after looking at these 20 things about the entrepreneur, ask yourself, does that sound like you? Of all of these traits, these are 20 traits, 20 mindsets. Does that sound like you? Are you that one that is so goal-oriented? Are you the one that takes responsibility for everything that happens? Are you the one that does that? Or are you the one who is always taking the safe road? I'm not gonna jump out in the river tonight, and I don't know the conditions of the water. I'm not gonna take a chance. I want to be with someone else in business. Are you the one that's going to, I'm not going to be a risk taker. I can't do that. That's not within me. I don't want to fail. Where are you in this spectrum? I just wanted you to take a look at these are those 20. And I only wanted to look at the entrepreneur because if we look at the entrepreneur's characteristics, you can know, am I an entrepreneur or am I a business owner?
Hello.
Take a look at that. And with that, I'm just going to open it up. Do you guys have any questions or comments or any things that you would like to say or share?
Hello.
Unmute, Darlene. We muted. Darlene, unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
No, we muted everyone because of background, so I wanted to make sure you were aware we weren't hearing you.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if anyone had any questions or any comments. I see that somebody says there's great concepts.
I want to read something to you a comment that's above. Let me scroll up to it a little.
Okay.
It started here. So this person said, I participate in lots of Zoom calls. It's rare that I feel fed, interested, and invested. And that's after a full day and multitasking. So thank you for that. And kudos to you, Darlene, for receiving that level of engagement at this late hour.
Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
There are also some comments around the concept and the importance for balancing things in life. Is there any value add you can add to that?
Say that one more time.
So great concepts, and it is important for balance in all life things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering how you could expound upon that comment.
Oh, absolutely. This actually can play very well in your own home life. Really, it can. What is it that you do? Are you focused on what you're doing for your business on a daily basis? Now, let's take a look at them. Does somebody have to call you and tell you you need to work on your business? Is there someone that's always asking you what you're doing with your business? Is there somebody that's always like on you and it's not within you? Because see, if these things aren't in you, then it's not really something that you want to say, I want to have a business, because you can be wasting time and money on something that's not really for you and not something that you're really called to. I believe that for me, when I started in business, it was because I saw that people were coming to me and asking me questions for things that I had invested time in. And I recognized that, you know what? They're asking me for my intellectual property. Now, I didn't know what that word was years ago. I didn't know that it was intellectual property years ago. I just knew that people were asking me questions and I'm answering them and I'm spending time with them, billable hours with them. And not recognizing that that is something that is actually business worthy. And I think that if we take a look at what it is that we're doing and how we're doing it, we'll recognize that it flows into the other areas of our life. That's the aha moment that you had. Yes. When people were asking you questions about things that one of my coaches said this: what comes easy to us doesn't always come easy to other people. What we see as it's quote unquote run of the mill with us is not run of the mill with other people. The way Bill thinks, I don't think that way. And every time he opens his mouth, I am amazed. I learn something new because of the way he thinks. But that feeds me because I need what he has. And that's why people pay him the big bucks for what he does. So what is it that you're doing that you may be doing for free? And this is for those that may not know exactly what their business plan should be looking like. What is it that I'm really supposed to be doing? What is that thing that is inside of you that you find people always looking to you for that? What's that thing that you're always doing? You're always drawn to it. How can you make this move in a way that causes you to be revenue savvy, that will bring revenue to you? And I'm hoping I answered that question.
And there's a comment here that I think you can add some insight, inspiration to. And it says, thank you, Mrs. Thorne. I feel God led here tonight. I have been struggling, but working constantly on myself and business. Tonight's words has changed everything. I had even started a business plan and stopped because of all of the above. Laugh out loud. I am so happy someone forwarded this flyer to me on Facebook.
Woohoo! And everybody give whoever said that, they need a hand clap and they need a whoop whoop and they need to get writing. Because those are the people that really need to be doing what they're doing. A lot of times we get discouraged because we don't see things happening. But sometimes the reason why we don't see things happening is because we don't know the right information. And when you are afforded the information, when you like someone, it showed up on Facebook and it changed the trajectory of your future. It'll change the trajectory of your future and your family's future. Because whatever it is that you're now going to embark upon, you have a whole room full of people that want you to succeed and will do whatever they can to help bring that to fruition. So any one of us that are at the way I'm looking at this at this Hollywood Squares, Patty is next to me, then it's me, then it's Bill, then it's Jay, and then it's Dr. Angie. Any one of us will be more than happy to talk with you about what it is that you want to do and help you bring the thing that's on the inside of you outside and get you moving.
Yes, we want you to stick with this course because we're going to go into more and more things like this. What Darlene just covered, that was that type of information that we call well-being. That is something that was very popular in this course because as a business owner, you're going to have to be on your best game mentally and physically. Mm-hmm. Neither one of those can fall too far off track. Some days you're going to get up and wonder, how are you going to make it through the day? You just got to put one foot in front of the other, take care of yourself, and put some joy in there. Darlene gave us a lot of pointers about things that we need to do, but sometimes you need to just stop. You need to just go look at the trees and the sky, go stand by the ocean, even if it's for 15 minutes. Do something to break the monotony of all that we have to do. We all are pressed in a lot of ways. And Darlene, did you have any more where you've done, or did you have any additional information?
Just wanted to piggyback on what you were saying. And in all of this, as Patty was so eloquently stated, that you've got to take time for you, that in all of what you're doing, make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Now, granted, I know when you first get excited, you're going to be, I don't want to sleep because I want to get it all out. I need to get it all out. But after you get it all out, make sure that you are eating properly, eat the right foods. You know, and even though you may want to go to the unholy fast food restaurants that don't give you everything you need, even though you may want to do that, take the time to work on you eating the right meals, getting enough rest. Drinking water is really key. It is very important because all of the things that we talked about tonight that you want to do, you won't be able to accomplish them the way you need to if you don't have a clear mind. If you are not drinking enough water, if you're not getting enough rest, you will have brain fog. And anything that you may have studied, that this is, Jay, I'm so proud of you. Anything
they
that
got
you
on me
have,
about this one time. They saw me drinking a soda one time when had just had surgery. Now I bring my clear liquid to every meeting. Got to take care of yourself.
That's right, you do. Now, this is one thing I want to kind of leave you with. when you want to retain information and you're studying something, you're getting some new concepts together for what you want to do in your business, know this, that your brain has to recalibrate. And your brain is like your computer when it's doing a download. You know what happens when it's downloaded? They say you have to keep it plugged in, but you don't touch it. And you let it do what it needs to do. And it may take from, anywhere from an hour to 2, 3 hours for it to do a new download, right? Well, our brains are the same way. In order for our brains to recalibrate, to be able to retain the things that we studied the day before, the things that we had learned and want to be able to use for our business, we've got to let our brains recalibrate. And it takes 6 to 8 hours for us to do that. So you need to be able to lay down in your bed and rest and sleep. Make sure you go through those cycles of REM sleep, REM meaning rapid eye movement, and going into the deep sleep. You've got to allow your body to do that so that you can retain all the information that you put in. It would be a waste if you did all that studying, putting all that stuff in your brain and slept for 2 hours and didn't give it a chance to get really inside of you. That'd be a waste, because then you have to start all over again. And I don't want anybody to waste any time and have to start all over again. That's what I wanted to share with you all tonight. Take care of yourselves, body, soul, and spirit, so that you can be the entrepreneur or the business owner that you have been designed to be. That's my share for you all tonight.
You know,
Wonderful, wonderful. Go ahead, Jay, if you have something.
I just have another thing. So I do all those things with the guidance of my good friends here. There are times that I will have a great idea. Like in the middle of the night, I've woken up for some reason. I've been thinking about something subconsciously, or a problem or a challenge. And there's a great idea. And I started to have like a little book. And I try to keep the light so it's low. And I think somebody put that in here. So you don't want to turn the light on. You don't want to look at your phone. So I used to use my phone and take notes on my phone. And it would brighten up everything. And I would jot that down. And then I would forget about it. And I would go right back to sleep and sleep well. Because somehow I told myself, you can let it go. You wrote it down. It's good. Whereas before I would sit there and think about it. And I'd be kind of like out of this half sleep. And I'd wake up in the next morning. And I'd say, like, this is really good. Like, this is really good stuff. So sometimes I try not to fight it, and I'll go with it, because then I find I can put myself at peace if I just say, you know what, deal with it right this second. Now, I'm not saying I do it all the time. It's very rare, but sometimes those creative juices, I think when you get yourself in that state, really start to go, and you don't want to lose that thought, because it could be the next big thing for you.
Exactly. That's why I have a pen and paper. And even if it's so weird, even if it doesn't look like, if it looks like chicken scratch, I remember what it was.
It does.
But the other thing that I've done is I have voice record on my phone, and I'll send myself a message on voice record. So that way I avoid all of that, and it's very clear, concise, and I can go back and listen to that as well. So those are some ideas that you might want to add to your arsenal when they show up, because they can show up at any given moment.
All right, that is just wonderful. One point I want to make is all of the things we talked about tonight are things that a business owner or entrepreneur would need to know. But we are in critical times. You all are having to deal with things in your businesses that you never thought you'd have to deal with. So everything we've discussed tonight is magnified by 100 just for you to survive. And so that's what we really want to concentrate on in this course, as Darlene and Jay went through talking about those things that are just basic, critical to a business. Pull out those things that you know will benefit your business and that will help you to do things better or to plan ahead. And we hope we'll touch on those things. So when we come back next week, start thinking of those things that you're really challenged with right now. It may have been something that you had totally under control in 2019, but then something happened and we're just in a very volatile environment. So we want you to bring up those things and help, we'll help you to try to address those and talk about those. We want to give you a little something extra and target the things that you're dealing with right now. So help us to do that by letting us know what your challenge is. That's basically our program for the night. Next week, we hope you'll come back. We're going to start talking about the business plan, and we will incorporate all of these challenges and information into that business plan. We'll put the solutions in if we have those, or we'll talk out how to find a solution. That's what we're going to do next week. And also Jay Graves and Darlene will be speaking again next week. So they'll continue for you. Darlene will bring us more information, and so will Jay. I believe we have.
I have an announcement, Patty.
Yes.
Did you want Professor Omar to go first?
I do. I'd like for Professor Omar to address us if he's still here. Is he still here, Dr. Angie? He was here for a while, so maybe he's not here, but Professor Omar is at the Entrepreneurship Center at Shaw University. He's a big partner of ours. When we first started this program, Dr. Wood sent him to us and asked him to partner with us, and he has been so good. I kind of get on his nerves when I call him and ask him to make videos, but he'll do them for me. And he's just a great partner for us to help us to promote the program. So he may have gotten knocked off or had to go do something else, but I'm sure he'll be here next week and he can talk to us about what's going on in his area. Dr. Wood, did you have any comments before we close tonight?
Just my usual closing comments about how excellent the whole session was. And I wish everybody a wonderful week until we reconnect again. And I'm very, very pleased with the numbers who turned out tonight. I think that everyone has benefited. Thank you all for the service that you provide.
Thank you so much for your support. I've had at least 7 individuals on this call to let me know they want to present their business plan. So we are moving forward.
Wonderful.
For the SCORE mentors, we will, those of you who ask and you don't have a SCORE mentor, we will assign someone to you. I will probably contact each one of you individually and see where you are and what you need and get you matched up with the right person. But this is going to be a real competition, because if Bill has somebody and I have somebody, then I'm going to be competing against Bill to be sure my person wins.
And likewise over here on the Arrington
Exactly.
team.
So we're going to be invested in this thing too. You know, we would love to have whoever we're mentoring, you know, to win this thing. But I'm so excited that we do have funds to give away, and that's something that people need right now. Are there any other questions or comments? Any of you that have questions about the competition, email me, get to me. I'll take the time to talk to you, email you back, and we can cover all of that. We have a template that I have prepared for your presentation. So that's gonna take you a long way, and I'll make sure you get that. It's not posted yet as far as I know, but I have that and I can send it to you. For those of you that have, you know, raised your hand to participate. We will, this recording for tonight, we will edit it over the weekend, and hopefully it will be on the Raleigh SCORE website by Tuesday. And just remember, if you signed up to present your plan, we want you to attend all the sessions, because we've only got 5 sessions before we present on October 21st. So we want you to attend every one of them so that we're sure you have your information to do a great job. One of the things I didn't mention about the business plan is that part of your plan should be, if you win the $5,000, how will you utilize that to further your business or to further your dream? Whatever amount, tell us what you will do. So you probably ought to prioritize those things you need money for. If you get 5,000, you'll do these 4 things. If you get 3,000, you'll do number 1 and 2. You know, do it that way. So let us know what you will do with those funds, and then your SCORE mentor will help you to carry through and make sure that you get the most important things that'll get you started and keep you going. Do any of the facilitators have anything tonight?
I wanted to share, we all are involved in various organizations and have resources available. So I just dropped in the chat, and it's something called the E-Lounge. It's a new business academy that recently launched, actually yesterday. They are doing a 13-week free course on technical assistance and training for businesses, leaders, and entrepreneurs. And the focus is really on helping you to adapt, shift, pivot as a result of impact from COVID. Some of the people that showed up last night are people who are deciding to start businesses, people who are at the thought stage. They don't even necessarily have a business that they decided upon. So wherever you are in the stage of your business, those opportunities are available. And I will also paste in the link to the registration. Again, it's a free program. You are not required to attend all 13 weeks. You can see the weeks and decide what you're interested in, but it might be something that can help you along the journey as well. There may be other resources. And as you come to the table with resources, we certainly invite you to drop things in the chat that are relevant to business ownership and entrepreneurship. And I know that my colleagues will as well, as we all are involved in numerous things. And Dr. Wood, congratulations to you and the Shaw team on the cybersecurity. That is definitely a unique thing for my alma mater and the work at Shaw University. There's another Shaw Bear on. But Patty, that's all I had. I just thank you for the opportunity to share that. And I also wanted to just say to the entrepreneurs and business owners who are on, I really feel a virtual synergy, a level of engagement. For you all to stay this late, this is certainly the mark of entrepreneurs, leaders, and business owners. Stay the course, network. I saw some networking happening. And in closing, if you are interested in a mentor, I've had some direct messaging around it. You would need to just send a note to Patty around your interest, and then Patty will decide which one of us is the right fit for you based on that. And it may be someone outside of us. We have a whole network of mentors at SCORE. There's hundreds of us actually. And we might pair up. Patty and I, Jay and I have often teamed up. So Patty is in the healthcare industry. However, she had a client once as a mentee who wanted to learn government contracting. And that's an area that I have some strength, skills, and experiences in. And so we teamed up. So just know that our focus is on the best interest of you and your needs to help you be most successful is why we're here. So again, send that to Patty, and good luck to each of you that decide. And if you haven't decided, Patty, did you say they have until next week to email you if they're interested?
Yes, until next Thursday by the end of the session.
Awesome.
Yes. And we'll start working on those that we have already immediately. And as Dr. Andrew said, it may not be one of us, it may be another SCORE mentor that we have that would be the best person for you, but they're going to have your best interest at heart, and they will work with you to be sure you present your plan. I believe someone asked if their plan they had to have a draft by next week. Whatever you can do on that plan to start getting it ready, please do that, because that gives your mentor something to help you with. Go ahead and define your business. What is your goal? What is your vision? Everything that you can think of, go ahead and put it down. but it's not required that you have a draft by then, but it would be so, so helpful because we're trying to do all of this in the 6 weeks. So it's going to be a short turnaround. All right, so if everyone has, talk about what they need to for tonight, or no one has any additional comments. I know you didn't hear from Bill Davis tonight. Bill, did you want to say anything before we close?
No, it's just a pleasure to be here, but they've had plenty of very good information this evening.
Thank you. And you all will be hearing from Bill in a couple of sessions. So you will hear from Bill later. He's a rock as part of this group, and we appreciate all that he does.
Mastermind.
Yes. Thank you all. It is 8:29 and we're to be off at 8:30. So we're going to give you back your minute. All right. Thank you. Good night. And we'll see you next week. Sign up and come right back here at 6:30 next Thursday. We promise you it'll be something you can use. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Everyone.